So this restaurant is located in Jakarta, CBD, Jakarta CBD, inside the shopping mall. So doing interior project for us is like uncharted territory. We don't know where to start. It's because as an architect, usually we start with programs, with analysis, with like all the stuff like site analysis. But then for interior, it's more free. So to be honest, I never worked as interior designer before. So for this project, we try to generate ideas from where we don't know. So this is a Japanese izakaya restaurant, and the client wants it to be less Japanese. Don't feel too much like Japanese, but more like contemporary and modern, and feel a bit more masculine. So we started from like this image from landscape basically. So what if we create something that is not restaurant, but not too efficient, not too kind of rigid, like just to get like a number of sitters and so on. But something that is more free. So we see the landscape, Japanese garden landscape here, the painting has like different kind of value for us. You have layers here, you have like more organic geometry, and you have cluster of different objects. Like you have rocks, you have kind of like trees, you have shrubs. Like we see like different layers in this uh kind of like an image. Then we try to kind of like translate it. We started from this layout, because the space itself is a bit rigid. It's like a rectangular, a bit like a parallelogram. So what if we create more like free, like curvy seating as a start? Then we kind of like put all the tables arrayed along the curves, and then this also paired with the outdoors seating and also bar and more like a diner style seatings. So then the issue here in the side is like you have double height ceiling space. So while you're only using basically the floor area, right? So we have extra space, extra airspace. So what should we do here? So we're thinking we have two options, whether we should just let it empty to make it more like a grander, like a space, or we should fill it with something, like I don't know what, but like then we kind of like we saw this image, where we have northern lights, and we like the look of it. We like the quality, and then we try to kind of like I don't know how to portray this in our design, but we see there's like a translucency here, and you see like a series of lines that might be more like possible to be kind of like materialized. So we studied what moire effect, like how kind of like layers of lines when kind of you overlay it, you have that kind of effect, Then we try to use the curvature of the ceiling and then try to kind of coordinate that into the ceiling, the layout of the ceiling. This is a suspended ceiling on the right. So we try to combine this effect on the ceiling, the suspended ceiling, by using kind of like strips, PVC strips.
Yeah.
You see the mock-up here, it's like, because we want to get the translucency without using like, I don't know, like a plastic or something like a transparent material, but we want to use it, the strips, like a series of strips, and then you twist it. So we tried, we do different kind of like alteration, whether you do like one twist or two twists or three twists,
Yeah.
Then in this case, in the mock-up, you see three twists here, and that you see like more like a glimpse, like a more like a I don't know transparency
Yes.
in it. So this is the mock-up of the ceiling.
So those are
then we tried
the PVC panels, right? And then you just abandoned it.
No, not panels, strips.
Strips.
So
Yeah,
the PVC strips is like 2 cm in width, and then the length is like it's in roll, so it could be like 6 meter. Yeah.
Okay.
So they do it one by one. They wrap it here on the steel tubes that they pull down and they twist. So yeah, it's quite labor intensive. Then we kind of fit this the screen, the PVC screens here to fill up the airspace. Then you have this kind of selling. You have this kind of experience where when you enter the building, you see kind of like both the bench and the ceiling has kind of like coordinated curvature, and we fit this lighting in between the screens to just to help the screen to have more articulation. Then since we want to achieve something like more like a masculine atmosphere, we're using kind of monochromatic color palette. So we're using white, black, and gray. This interior is dominated by black finished wood, basically, and then you have stone flooring, and then white textured wall.
Yeah.
So we want to keep it simple. Just we use like three colors. Then we also have mezzanine here for a private room. And from the private room, we can have like a bit of visual connection to the main dining area through the screen. Another idea is to create kind of because this area is the main bar, the main sake bar.
Yeah.
So we try to use this kind of sake rack, like we want to span it across the room as a datum, like to kind of like to tie this kind of like the room together, because you have like different stuff here. You have bar, you have a diner style seating, you have the main dining hall. So we want to tie them with this wine rack. The idea is for people to be able to see the bottle like everywhere they go, and maybe they can just grab it and then pay to the cashier. That's the idea. And the space gets really bright when you have kind of like no screen outside, and then and the client doesn't like it. So basically, we have to add kind of louver outside to kind of like to filter the sunlight a bit. So we kind of introduce a almost like similar strategy as the ceiling, but then we use kind of like wood. So it's like wooden louver, but we kind of like cut it to create some kind of like moire effect as well here in the facade. And so yeah, this go back to this sake rack. So this you can see that sake rack is like it's like a continuous band. And also, you don't really see this clearly, but we also kind of like put some kind of like a dry garden along the bench here at the back. Actually, I don't show it. I showed the picture of this picture, but the next one is the stair. This one is the stair going to the mezzanine. And the facade that I mentioned before, that we try to use the same effect as the ceiling for the facade. So you have kind of a different perception when you go past this restaurant. That's the first project that I'm showing you.
Yeah.
So
do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Madi.
Before we move on, Eric, you have these two features that are really unique, one in the ceiling and the other in the facade. Having this transparent effect was something that you know at the first you want to do, or you have to experiment with different stuff to get this effect at the end? Like this twisting the...
Are you talking about the ceiling?
Yes.
For that, actually, we didn't know what to use before, but we want to have sort of transparency. We were thinking to use fabric before. So our option was fabric and polycarbonate before. But then when we did our research, this material came up. So we tried to... Typically, they don't use it for this kind of geometry, this kind of shape, but usually they use it for weaving, because in Indonesia, weaving is quite popular in our culture. So they use it for like facade, for like furniture, for like fashion. So, but then for this project, we want to use it differently. We want to do it more simple. We don't weave it, but we just want to kind of like span it and twist it. And that's simple operation.
Yes, exactly. The fact that you made this such a complex zoning and like feature with such a simple like movement is very impressive, because right now many people think that they have to use such a like complex material or different like methods of creation, but this is so simple, but at the end you get this very complex result, and it's very valuable.
Thank you. I think it's also because of the interior project, because for architecture, we have many limitations, right? Because of the code and everything. And also like the material has to last longer because it's exposed to the sun and rain. So, but then for interior project, I think you're more free to choose what materials, right? So, I think we're lucky we find these materials that we can use indoor and safely.
Yeah. And what was the interaction with your client that you explained you want to bring the ceiling lower to the like this level? Like, they said like no,
yes,
don't do it. We want the height to be that height, or they will agree with you.
No, actually, our first proposal was only one floor without mezzanine. So they were kind of like agreed in the beginning not to use the airspace before. Like I mean, we could have put two floors easily, because in other units next to our restaurant here, they can fit two floors here, and we chose not to use two floors, and we want to free up the space. And the client, I mean, the client was she was fine with it, because sittings that Japanese izakaya usually don't need big space. You only occupy like a little bit, and we think that it's more intimate to use only small space, right? And then let the other, like the airspace, to be something else. So yeah, so the client was okay since the beginning, actually.
And one other thing that I want you to explain a bit more is the like seating area and this curve, like how you managed to make it happen like this. This was such a unique design, like it's matched with the ceiling very well.
Yes, actually, that's the strategy that we use, but then also it's a bit backfired, because we want to coordinate the curve, right, from ceiling and like with the ceiling. But then when you start putting the tables, and sometimes the operational manager wants like, oh, we want to fit more chairs there, or fit more tables. That's kind of like hard for us, because we have limitation of the curve. Then because we have to put like all those tables along the curve when we want to add, it's a bit difficult. So that's the challenge, because this design is not that flexible. It's kind of like a bit, everything is prescribed. So you want to change it would be more difficult.
Yes, exactly. That's great.
Yeah. So I also have just a question, because I know this is the Japanese restaurant, and there tends to be like a cultural clash, I think, because I think this is located in Indonesia, right? In the city, heart of the city, I believe. So how are you able to balance that cultural clash in terms of how the design is represented between Japanese and the Indonesian style approach?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Actually, these restaurants located in like hyper modern shopping mall, which is like which was built in 2020 during COVID. And if we're thinking about the bigger scale, yes, I think we should consider about like because uh, Indonesia is like a tropical country, right? And then most buildings try to be tropical. So tropical architecture is a thing here. But then we believe that that's not the only solution to be specific. Like um, when we build something in more like, I don't know, exposed to the sun, outdoor, yes, maybe we should consider about how to be tropical, like, and to be appropriate to the context there. But then when it's interior and it's inside, I think I don't know, we don't always use the context as like as a tropical, it has to be Indonesia, but we use another context. Let's say it's like in shopping mall, you have like bigger windows. What you what's the treatment for the windows and the client, the budget, and a lot of kind of like context beside those kind of like I don't know tropicality or like style, like a tropical style or something, because for us it's more interesting to be more specific, not only kind of like in terms of style and architecture, but also specific in terms of like client stakeholder, like budget, timeline, and then space. I don't know. It's for us. It's beyond style.
Yeah.
So and that's we believe in our studio too, that we don't believe in style. So
Yes.
yeah.
You also have to consider those many aspects I guess, in approaching the design. And perhaps last question from me. What other things that led you, because this is the Japanese restaurants that I've been to is usually on warmer tones, wood tones. Are there other reasons that led you to go for this darker tones in the interior?
Because we started from kind of like this Japanese painting, which is more or less like a black and white, and then when we see rocks, rocks, because the color comes from rocks. This project, so we see the rocks as like a different tone of gray and black, like, so we try to use that to make it more kind of like to introduce something like more masculinity in this project. So so that's why like we play with that tone. And it's and then we want to have like different kind of black also, like the color of the ceiling and the color of the wood finish. It's black, but then it's different black. So when you take picture, we use photographer, and then when he took picture, you see like different shades of I don't know, blacks, like, and it creates different depth, So it's same color but different depth, when you put them together. So I think that's really interests us.